Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. Now it's Thursday evening, the 16th of September 2021, and I'm recording this evening because I'll be out in the morning. So I'll probably publish it Friday morning. So there's only one place we can start this week, and no, it's not Ronaldo. I'll come on to him in a moment. It's with the tennis and Emma Raducanu, who successfully completed victory and won the Women's US Open Tennis at Flushing Meadows last Saturday, becoming the first British woman to win a Grand Slam for 44 years. Last winner was Virginia Wade at Wimbledon in 1977, and it's a great achievement for the 18-year-old girl who's based in Kent. Parents are Chinese, Romania, I believe. She was born in Canada, but she's British. She spent most of her life here, and she's based in Orpington in Kent. So it's brilliant, for women's tennis in this country. There's a lot of talk about how she could be the first billion-dollar women tennis player, things like that. But we'll see, won't we? Hopefully the pressure won't get to her too much, and the expectation won't be too high. But it's a great result and great victory for her. And it was nice for her that Virginia Wade actually was there to watch her win the title. So that's a great achievement. So well done, Emma. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, now that's tennis sorted out for now. Next, we're going to take a bit of a detour from normal order because we're going to talk about cricket next. The Halifax Cricket League reached its conclusion last weekend, and what a conclusion it was. Going to start by saying congratulations to Myvenroyd. They are your new Premier League champions, Halifax Cricket League champions. The results went their way on the last day. I'm sure they would have liked to have won the title by basically winning the last match themselves. It wasn't to be, but because the teams in second and third place lost their matches also, it meant that they won the title. So brilliant, well done to Myvenroyd on winning the title. In that game they lost on Saturday. They were chasing a total set for them of 263. Their opponents, Illingworth St Mary's, managed 262 for 9 in their innings. Callum Cook scored 60, Matty Smith scored 53, and Luke Brooksby scored 40. On the bowling side of things for Myvenroyd, we had Tuffake, who took 5 for 86, and Jack Earl, who took 3 for 78. Jack also had a big part to play with the bat. He scored 66 in the response. Schofield scored 52, but he just fell short. They were all out for 228. Jacob Travis being left on his own at 10 not out at the end. We'll be talking a little bit more about Jacob in a moment. But we just fell short by 34 runs, so I'm sure it was quite a nervous situation for them to be in. But as it turned out, the two closest rivals were both beaten, as I've already mentioned. Both Triangle and Booth were beaten. Triangle lost to Worley by 44 runs, and Booth were beaten by Thornton by 5 wickets, which actually meant that Thornton leapfrogged Booth into third place in the final standings in the table. Now at the bottom end of the table, there was a big relegation battle on, and the two games that were important to this were the game between Shelford North Arm, Hedgetop and Bradshaw, and Blackley and Strawberry Bridge. Now, as far as Bradshaw were concerned, they had a comfortable victory, so that saw them to safety. They bowled Shelford North Arm, Hedgetop out for 107. It was Harry Talbot and Dan Krem who scored 29 each. They were the top scorers, but a fantastic bowling performance by Johnny Lister, who took 7 for 18 in 10.5 overs, meant that basically Shelf was skittled. And when it came to batting, Bradshaw lost Matty Crowther early on for 1, but then there was an unbeaten partnership of 107 between Charlie Holt Conway and Johnny Sykes. Charlie scored 68 not out, and Johnny Sykes scored 39 not out, and that meant they secured their safety. In the other game, this was real nip and tuck, and this was proper, must have gone down nerve-shredding moments for both sides really. Blackley batted first, and they put on 164 for 7. Mick Midwood leading the way very well with 52 for the home side. Tom Belfield took 3 for 39 for Sorby Bridge, and then it really did come down to the wire with this game. Paul Smith and Sam Mellor managed to see Sorby Bridge home with 1 wicket and 1 ball to spare. Smudge scored 57 not out, and Sam stayed there. He got 1 not out, but the fact he stayed there with him meant that they secured their safety as well. And unfortunately for Blackley, it meant they were relegated to the Division 1 for next season. So commiserations to Blackley, and well done to both Bradshaw and to Sorby Bridge on retaining their Premier League status. As for next season, Great Horton Park and London Foot will be joining the 10 teams that are already in the Premier Division next season. So congratulations to those 2 teams as well, and look forward to seeing them competing at the highest level next season. So that's pretty much what happened on the last day of the season in the Halifax Cricket League. I will be doing a special one-off interview stroke podcast with Jacob Travis from Myvan Royd to talk about their title victory and the fact that perhaps before the season started they were written off as having any chance of winning the title. So keep your eyes open for that interview. It'll be coming up in the next few days or so, maybe the next week or so. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. It should be an interesting one to watch. Okay, moving on from cricket now, and we're going to talk about football. And there's been a lot going on in the world of football in the last week or so. We've just come off the back of a European midweek, so we're going to start by looking at the Champions League. And in the Champions League, 3 out of the 4 English teams were successful. The only team to fail were Manchester United. They lost to Young Boys of Bern 2-1 on Tuesday night. Got to say that the dismissal of Wan Bissaka straight red for shall we say a clumsy tackle in the first half probably cost them long term, although Jesse Lingard's back pass led to the winning goal in injury time or in the final minute should I say, for Young Boys. It was his mistake, but you've got to look at the fact that they were playing with 10 men for so long. Maybe there's some tactical errors from Ole in taking off Fernandes and Ronaldo. That's for other people to decide, but they lost 2-1, so I'm sure they'll overcome it, and when they play them at home I'm pretty sure they'll convincingly beat Young Boys. But you know, it's something to make them realise they can't be complacent. The other 3 English teams I mentioned all won. Chelsea beat Zenit St Petersburg also on Tuesday night 1-0. Zenit put up a good fight, but Lukaku's goal was enough to see them home. On Wednesday night, comfortable victory in the end for Manchester City to beat I've forgotten who we're playing now. They beat Red Bull Leipzig 6 goals to 3. It included a first Manchester City goal for Jack Grealish, and they were sending off for Angelino, who used to play for Manchester City towards the end, but at that stage I think the game had probably gone anyway. And also Wednesday night, Liverpool eventually saw off AC Milan by 3 goals to 2. Exciting game. Liverpool scored early doors. Then Mo Salah missed a penalty, or had it saved, should I say. Milan struck back with 2 goals in the sake of 2 minutes to be leading 2-1 at half time. Second half, Liverpool restored parity pretty much straight away, and then Jordan Henderson's strike into the bottom corner saw Liverpool take victory, and it was probably fairly comfortable after that from what I saw. So good results for those teams there. So it's only game week 1, there's a long way to go, but you'd fancy all 4 English teams to get through, I'd say, but you never know, do you? Now on to this evening's games, and in the conference, which is the lesser of the 2 competitions, Tottenham were held 2-2 away to Rennes. Rennes are probably going to be the toughest opponents in their group anyway, so it might not be such a bad result, and considering apparently Tottenham didn't play too well. So 2-2 draw there for them. They were up 1, then they were 2-1 down, and eventually they got back to 2-2 with an equaliser around the 75th minute from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. The first goal was an own goal. So yeah, they've got work to do, but like I say, it's early doors there as well. And then in the Europa League, mixed results. I actually watched a couple of these games. I watched West Ham, they played really well, and they won 2-0 away to Dinamo Zagreb. Comfortable goals following another back pass error. Michail Antonio scored the first goal, and a good strike from Declan Rice for the second goal. They never really looked under any threat, to be honest with you, so that's a good start for them. Leicester in their game was a game I watched later on, and that was a 2-2 draw, and ended up with Napoli. They were disappointed that we didn't win the game, but to be fair, Napoli did waste quite a lot of chances. They were 2-0 up, Brendan Rodgers took the decision to rest some of maybe his first team Premier League players. Did it backfire a little bit? Maybe it did. But there were some good performances. Harvey Barnes scored a nice goal. I rate the lad, he's a good player. I think he's got a good future both with Leicester and with England. So he's one to keep an eye on for the future. But a great goal there. I think Iose Perez scored the first goal, Barnes the second goal to do a 2-0 up. But then Osimhen scored twice for Napoli in the late second half, and to be fair, Napoli could actually have stolen it towards the end, so it looked to be losing a bit of running out of steam a little bit, Leicester, but 2-2 in the end up, probably a fair result. In the other games tonight, the British teams Celtic and Rangers both lost. Celtic lost 4-3 away to Real Betis in Spain. Tough result for them to take. They were 2 up at one point, but 4-2 down, and then got back to 4-3, but couldn't quite manage to get anything out of the game. And Rangers lost 2-0 at home to Lyon. That's a tough game for them. Lyon are going to be probably the best team in their group, so it's going to be the other games that they play in that group that decide whether they actually get through or not to the next round. So, like I say, on the game day 1, 5 more rounds to go, and we'll obviously be keeping track of progress with all the teams during the group stages. Okay, so moving away from the European football, back to the domestic stuff, and the Premier League. Yes, Ronaldo did make his comeback at the weekend, and you can't keep him down, can you? He scored twice for Manchester United in the 4-1 win over Newcastle, and that means Manchester United now currently are top on goal difference at top of the Premier League with 10 points, position the share ahead of the points total share, should I say, with Chelsea, Liverpool and Everton, who all had victories at the weekend. Chelsea beat Villa 3-0, flattered them a little bit. Villa put up a good performance. Edouard Mendy made some really good saves for Chelsea in the first half, but the class told in the end, and Lukaku scored twice. Liverpool, comfortable victory for them at Leeds, 3-0, not really any doubt. The main talking point from that game was the injury to Harvey Elliott, which saw him receive a broken and dislocated ankle. He's been had surgery for it and he's recovering now. Hopefully won't be out too long. But Pascal Struijk, the Leeds defender who did the tackle that caused the injury, received a red card for the tackle, which I think was very harsh. I'm not sure it was a red card, to be honest with you all. They appealed it of Leeds, but it's been turned down. I think that's a poor decision, really. Leeds fans will feel hard done to. Even Harvey Elliott felt it probably wasn't the right decision. But that's the way football is sometimes, you know. And then Everton fought back from 1-0 down to beat Burnley 3-1 at Goodison Park on Monday evening, so that's put them in their position 4th. Man City are 5th at the moment, on 9 with Brighton and Tottenham. At the bottom of the table, Arsenal got their first victory of the season. They beat Norwich by 1-0 to take them off the bottom. They've got 3. So in the drop zone, we've got Norwich who haven't scored a point yet. Newcastle have got 1, Burnley have got 1. They've got Leeds on 2. But Leeds are away to Newcastle tomorrow evening in the live Sky game, so that's an important match for both sides at St James's Park. So that'll be worth watching and keeping an eye on. So the big game this weekend is on Sunday, and it is Tottenham and Chelsea. Tottenham have been a bit indifferent so far. Chelsea have looked very good. Should be a good match to watch. Also another good game Saturday tea time is Aston Villa against Everton. So you've got that to watch as well if you want to. Plenty to keep your eyes on there in the Premier League. Moving on to FC Halifax Town now and the Conference National. And Halifax are currently in 6th place after some good results in the last week. They beat Southend at the Share last Saturday 3-1, and on Tuesday night they played away to the previously unbeaten Boreham Wood and they got a 2-2 draw. That's a really good result. They actually took the lead. It's debatable whether it's actually an own goal or it's being actually credited to Billy Waters, but they actually went 2-1 down after that, and then Waters scored the equaliser as well. So they're saying he's got 6 goals. If that's the case, he's joint top scorer in the league with 2 other players. I think one of them Shimanga, who's left Boreham Wood for enough to go to Chesterfield. He scored a hat-trick on Tuesday night in their victory. So at the top of the table, we've got Dagenham on 16, Chesterfield on 14 with Boreham Wood also on 14. Grimsby are on 13, they've made a good start and they're unbeaten, so all those teams are unbeaten. In fact, as are Notts County, who are 6th, they've won 3 and drawn 3, and they're in 5th place, and they've got 12 points. So they're the teams at the top, and Halifax are on 10. Big game for Halifax this Saturday at home to big spending Stockport, who've not started the season as well as they would probably have liked. They're in 10th place with 8 points. mixed bag of results, 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats. We've not always had the best of results in recent times against Stockport. In fact, we've probably never had recent good results against Stockport ever. Our record club defeat is against Stockport, 13-0, but we won't go into that from the 1930s. But yeah, so it'd be nice to beat Stockport. At the bottom of the table, we've got Dover on -11 because of the 12-point deduction they started with. Barnet have got 2, Aldershot have got 3, and Torquay, somewhat surprisingly, have only scored 4 now in 20th place, so they're struggling. Like I say, most teams have played between 4 and 6 games. The top teams have all played 5 or 6 games. So let's hope that Town can beat Stockport on Saturday and keep their pretty good run going. To be fair, they've looked quite good. The only disappointing game I've seen so far was a match at Yeovil when they lost by 1-0 in a poor game. Yeovil's penalty was the difference, and Yeovil actually beat Stockport this last Saturday 3-0, and he got a penalty in that game as well. And Joe Quigley keeps scoring penalties for Yeovil, so they're 7th, just behind Halifax. They've only played 4, so they might be a dark horse team to keep an eye on actually. So that's what's going on in the Conference National, and that's the football review for this week really. Next up we have Brisca Formula 1 stock cars, and last Saturday I missed the Town game against Southend to go to the Brisca Formula stock car World Championship final at Odsal Stadium in Bradford, and it was a very eventful race. Defending champion Tom Harris successfully defended his crown. The race was restarted I think 5 times, or I think there were 5 starts altogether, 2 complete restarts, then 2 yellow flag restarts. There was one particular occasion where it looked like he may get beaten when Bobby Griffin got away, but that was one of the complete restarts when there was a massive pile up on the start, finished straight. But other than that, he never really looked under any threat. In the final running of the race, Lee Fairhurst drew alongside him briefly for about a second, but then Tom showed he'd got more power. The engine in the car was strong, and he run out a fairly comfortable victory in the end, and a deserved champion, despite some of the boos and the abuse he got from the crowd. In my opinion, he was a deserved winner. So we now move on to the rest of the season, where we now have the National Shootout Series starting this weekend at Kings Lynn. 53 cars are booked in on the latest list that I've seen, so that should be a good meeting. Tom is going to be there, along with most of the other top guys, most of the superstars. So we should get a good night's race in there as well. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is the world of Speedway, and first of all, the Speedway Grand Prix last week was round 9 of the Speedway Grand Prix in Vojens in Denmark, and that was won by Artem Laguta. He beat Bartosz Marslik in the final. So as it stands now, there's 1 point in it between the two of them, but now Laguta is 1 point in front of Bartosz going into the last 2 rounds at the Marion Rose Stadium in Torun, Poland on Friday the 1st and Saturday the 2nd of October. So it promised to be a thrilling finale. It could go either way here. I have a sneaking suspicion for Laguta, but who knows? Bartosz has never beaten. He's looking for a hat-trick of titles on the bounce, so you never know. It's definitely between those two. There's still a battle for 3rd and 4th place between Emil Seifutinov and Freddie Lindgren, although it looks like after this last round Emil might have a slightly upper hand. I think he's 3 points in front after the last round, so probably favours him. Ty Wuffenden's probably going to finish 5th or 6th, but he looks like he's secured his place for next season, and the rest of the riders after that probably going to be relying on wild cards. I'm interested to see who they dish them out to, but yeah, that'll be decided in October after it's all completed. So that's where we are with the Grand Prix. In the domestic scene, it's looking like Peterborough are going to finish top of the table and have choice of teams for the playoffs. They've beaten Sheffield at Owlerton tonight by 50 points to 40. Another good performance from Chris Harris. He scored 13 for them tonight. There were some good performances all round really from Peterborough, and a good performance by Michael Palmtoft. So I said Palm Tree like Kelvin Tatum did then, but yeah, good performance by him. And also good contribution from Connor Mountain, the reserve guest, who scored I think 8 points from his 5 rides. The only disappointment was Scott Nichols only scored 2, but the rest of the team did okay. They called in Thomas Jorgensen as a guest instead of using rider replacement for Ulrich Ostergaard. In hindsight, maybe it weakened them, but he did win one race. He had a vital winning 11 when he beat Adam Ellis. who previously come out and got a 5-1 as a tack sub Heat 10 because Sheffield was 6 behind, but like I said, they lost by 10 eventually. So now I believe we're only 2 points behind Wolverhampton in the table, and they've got 2 matches left both at home, so be interested to see who Peterborough do pick. I thought that Wolverhampton, if they'd have finished top, may have picked Bellevue. As it turns out, I think Peterborough probably fancy riding Sheffield again, so by default it may well be Wolves against Bellevue in the semi-finals, but we'll have to see what they pick after it's all decided next week. But certainly it should be worth looking forward to. Okay. And then the final sport we're going to look at this week is Rugby League and the Championship. And Halifax Panthers have a big match on Sunday at the Shea when they take on Batley. Now at the moment Halifax are in 3rd place in the Championship table. As it stands, 3rd and 4th teams will get home tie in the first round of the playoffs. Teams finish 1st and 2nd get a bye through to the next round, and they play the winners of these 2 sudden death matches between the teams that who finish 3rd and 6th and 4th and 5th. So Halifax will be looking for a home tie. In the worst case scenario, they can afford to lose on Sunday and finish 4th, but they need, because obviously if Bradford Bulls who are 4th win, their percentage win rate will go above Halifax. If Batley beat Halifax, they'll have an identical percentage win rate to Halifax, which means it will come down to points difference. As it stands at the moment, Halifax are, I think, 28 points better off than Batley, so they can afford to lose by 13 or less. If it actually finishes 14 points in favour of Batley on Sunday, they'll tie, but that would see Batley get the home tie because they've scored more points this season, as far as I can work out from the rules. So Halifax will be open to avoid that, by just winning really, and hopefully they can do that. So good luck to the Panthers on Sunday, and the playoffs are being shown on Sky. I think it's the following weekend, so I think it's Friday. I think they're showing Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure about that yet, but it has actually. The only reason I know that is because it's affected one of the stock car fixtures. It's been called off in case Bradford do get a home game that weekend, so they've moved it to October. But that's what's going on in the world of Rugby League or in the Championship. So I think that sums it up for this week. That's what I want to cover this week. So I hope you've enjoyed listening and watching as usual. And if you've got anything you want to add in the comments below, please feel free to do so. And like I say, I'm going to be doing an interview with Jacob Travis from Myvenroy Cricket Club about their Championship victory in the Halifax Cricket League. So like I say, once again, congratulations to Myvenroy and well done to Sorby Bridge and to Bradshaw on retaining their status in the top league. That's all for now, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.